Welcome. Thank you so much for coming today. This is actually our 7th live radio broadcast, I believe. This is something that has become somewhat of a tradition, if not an annual tradition, where one of my theater classes, usually now it's a Theater 3 class, so these are all juniors and seniors, combine with Mr. Honeycutt's audio production class, and we put together a reenactment of an old radio broadcast. This one happens to be A Christmas Carol, which was obviously written by Charles Dickens in the 19th century, but this was originally broadcast by the Mercury Theater with Orson Wells narrating and playing Scrooge and probably 97% of the other roles in the play. I do believe he played like the ghost and Scrooge at the same time, so it was a bit of an ego fest for Mr. Wells. But anyway, we benefit from his script, and that is what we're going to be doing today. So what we do is we basically rehearse for about 4 weeks, and then we put the actors and the technicians together for the last week. And then we add music, and we're very lucky to have Don Rickenbach, who is playing for us, and who has also been working with the singers, who have obviously been trained by Mr. Rosenberg. And all right. So anyway, it is a live broadcast. We are going out live over WWPT, so it is very exciting. And I think that's about all I needed to say. Hopefully you turned off your, yeah, I'm going to do the countdown. I gotcha. You turned off your cell phones. And so basically what I'll do is I'll count down, and when we get to 0, that means we're going to start. We do have an applause sign right there, so you are an active participant. Okay, you do applaud when the applause sign goes on. All right? There we go. Good job, good job, good job. All right, so that is how this is going to work. You guys ready? Ready to tell me to go? Okay, we are going in. You guys ready? Yeah. Ready? And 5, 4, 3.
The makers of Campbell Soups present the Campbell Playhouse. As the old year draws toward its close, we of Campbell's feel a bond of warmth and gratitude toward each of you, our friends. For you see, in homes everywhere throughout the land, Campbell's Soups have been welcomed. Day by day and week by week, you have placed confidence in us and in the foods we make. And there isn't anything we appreciate more deeply than the fact that so many of you have elected to let Campbell's make your soups for you. And so when Christmas comes, we look about to find some way to show our appreciation, some Christmas present by which to say thank you. We hope that it will become a Christmas custom to gather around the radio to hear and to enjoy the Staples Players production of A Christmas Carol, produced in collaboration with the Staples Audio Production Group and broadcast live on WWPT on December 19th, 2013. We get a great deal of pleasure planning and preparing this Christmas gift, and now it's ready. Off come the wrappings. Off come the tags that say, please do not open till Christmas. Out comes the card, to you, from Campbell's. And here is the gift itself.
Marley was dead, to begin with, as dead as a doornail. Scrooge and Marley were partners for I don't know how many years. But he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone to Scrooge, a squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. And once upon a time, of all the good days in the year, on Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house, a grim, cheerless place if ever there was one. The door of Scrooge's counting house was open, that he might keep his eye upon his clerk, Bob Cratchit, who in a cold, dismal little cell beyond worked at his ledgers.
19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 26, 29, 9, carry 2. Nothing you dismay. 17, 13, 17,
Bob
7.
Cratchit!
Yes, Mr. Scrooge?
Stop that infernal caterwauling.
Yes, sir. 9, 15, 17.
Singing their idiotic Christmas carols at my very door. Go on! Get away from my door!
Oh.
Go somewhere else and bellow your blasted carols, or I'll give you...
Why, Governor? It's an old custom at Christmas time, you know.
Yes, and I don't want any of your old customs. Take your fellow fools and go away. Christmas. There.
Right, sir. Merry Christmas anyway, sir.
Ah.
Mr. Scrooge, it's Christmas, sir.
Christmas? Christmas? You mention that word to me once more, Bob Cratchit, and I'll...
A Merry Christmas, Uncle. A Merry Christmas, Bob.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Fred.
God save you, Uncle.
Bah, humbug.
Christmas, a humbug, Uncle. Now, I'm sure you don't mean that.
I mean just that. Exactly that. Merry Christmas. What right you have to be merry? You're poor enough.
Well, what right do you have to be dismal about Christmas, Uncle? You're rich enough.
Bah.
Now, Uncle, don't be cross.
Well, what else can I be when I live in a world of such fools? What's Christmas to you but a time for paying bills without money? Merry Christmas. A time for finding yourself a year older, not an hour richer. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips would be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. Yes, he should.
Uncle!
Now, nephew, keep your Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it? But you don't keep it, Uncle.
Well, let me leave it alone then. What do you want? A Christmas gift, I've no doubt.
I came to wish you a Merry Christmas, Uncle.
A Merry Christmas? Much good may Christmas do you. Much good it ever done you.
There are many things from which I derive good by which I've not profited materially, I dare say, Uncle. Christmas among the rest. But I've always thought of Christmas time as a good time. A kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time. And therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe it has done me good, and I say, God bless it.
God bless Christmas, hurrah!
Let me hear another sound out of you there, Bob Cratchit, and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation. As to you, nephew, you are a powerful speaker. I wonder you don't go into Parliament. You talk enough nonsense.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come, dine with us tomorrow. Will you come see us?
Oh, I'll see you all right. I'll see you in hell.
But why? Why?
Why did you get married?
Because I fell in love.
Because you fell in love. Good afternoon.
I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you. Why can't we be friends?
Good afternoon.
I am sorry with all my heart to find you so resolute. But in homage to Christmas, I'll keep my Christmas humor to the last. Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year.
Good afternoon.
Bob, how is Mrs. Cratchit and all the small assorted Cratchits?
Very good, sir.
All chomping at the bit waiting for Christmas to begin, eh?
Oh, yes, sir. All very eager.
And the little lame boy. Which one is he? Tim?
Tim, sir.
That's right. How is he?
Where an eye hopes he's getting better, sir.
Good. A Merry Christmas to you.
Same to you, sir, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. And you, Cratchit. 15 shillings a week and a wife and a family. Talking about a Merry Christmas. I'll retire to Bedlam.
Do we have the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Marley's been dead these 7 years tonight. I'm Scrooge.
Well now, Mr. Scrooge, at this season of the year, it's only fitting that we who are more fortunate should raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink, and means of warmth. You may not believe it, sir, but many thousands are now in want of common necessities. And hundreds of thousands are in want of the simplest comforts.
Are there no prisons?
Well, sir, there are plenty of prisons.
And the workhouses? They're still in operation, I trust.
I wish I could say they are not, but they are, sir.
Ah, I'm glad to hear that. Heh, I was afraid from what you said at first that something had occurred to stop them in their useful course.
No, sir. All these institutions that you mention are flourishing, but it's nevertheless true that some additional provisions for the poor and the destitute must be made.
A few of us are endeavoring to raise such a fund. You see, and, what should I put you down for?
Nothing.
Oh, I see. You wish to be anonymous, sir.
I wish to be left alone. I don't make merry myself at Christmas time, and I can't afford to help make a lot of idle people merry. I help to support the establishments that take care of the poor, that cost enough. Let those who are badly off go there.
Many can't go there, sir, and many would rather die.
Then my advice to them is to do so and decrease the surplus population. Good afternoon.
We quite understand, Mr. Scrooge. Good afternoon.
Cratchit, show these people out.
Yes, sir. This way, please. Sir, I couldn't help overhearing. I should like to contribute tuppence.
Cratchit!
Yes, sir! It isn't much, but it's all I can afford. But there are others in worse situation than I.
You're a generous fellow. I wish I might say so for your employer.
Cratchit!
Yes, sir!
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Cratchit!
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yes, sir!
Close the door!
Yes, sir! 24, 31, 1 carry 3. A new scarlet tippet for Tiny Tim. A comb for Martha. A 33, 3 and carry 3. A hair ribbon for Belinda. 4, 7, 12, 15.
I suppose you'll want the entire day tomorrow.
If it's quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient. And it's not fair either. But I suppose I can't do anything about it. If I was to stop half a crown of your wages, you think yourself very ill-used, I'll be bound.
Well, sir,
Yeah, but you don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work.
It's only once a year, sir.
Once a year? Once a year indeed. A fine excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose there's no good talking. You must have the whole day. We'll see that you're here all the earlier the next morning. You understand?
Oh, I will, sir. I will indeed. Good night, sir, and Merry Christmas.
There.
Merry Christmas.
There!
The office was closed in a twinkling, and Bob Cratchit rushed home to Camden Town as hard as he could pelt to play with his family at Blind Man's Bluff. Scrooge, on the other hand, took his melancholy dinner in his usual melancholy tavern, and went to his dismal house. Darkness is cheap, and Scrooge liked it. The yard was so dark that even Scrooge, who knew its every stone, had to grope with his hands through the fog and the frost to find the door. He locked himself in. He double-locked himself in, and took off his cravat, put on his dressing gown and slippers, and his nightcap, and sat down before the fire to take his gruel.
Ebenezer Scrooge!
Molly? Molly? Molly! I could have sworn I saw old. Humbug. Molly's been dead these 7 years. Humbug, all humbug. What I need is good nights. What's that? Someone's in the wine cellar. But the door's locked and double locked. Something is coming. Something is coming closer. Outside my door! I won't believe it. It's humbug still.
Ebenezer Scrooge! Ebenezer Scrooge!
Oh, no! What do you want with me?
I want much with you, Ebenezer.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Oh, you're very particular for a ghost. All right then, who were you?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Jacob Marley? But you're dead. You died 7 years ago.
7 years ago this very night.
You're a ghost, then?
What's wrong, Ebenezer? Don't you believe in me?
I do not.
You doubt your senses, Ebenezer?
Yes, because a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheat. You can't be a ghost. You may be an undigested bit of beef, or a blot of mustard, or a crumb of cheese, or a fragment of an underdone potato. There may be more gravy than grave about you, whatever you are. Humbug, I tell you, humbug. I do believe in you. You are a ghost, Jacob.
Thank you.
But why do you walk the earth, Jacob? Why do you come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad among his fellow men and travel far and wide to witness what it cannot share but might have shared on earth and turn to happiness.
But tell me, Jacob, what is that chain you wear around you?
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link and yard by yard, by my own free will. Is its pattern strange to you, Ebenezer?
Cash boxes, keys and padlocks, ledgers and purses.
Yours was as heavy and as long as this 7 years ago. You have labored on it since, Ebenezer.
Oh, Jacob, speak comfort to me, Jacob.
Comfort I have none to give. I cannot rest, I cannot stay, I cannot linger. Weary journeys lie before me.
You travel fast?
Yes, Ebenezer, on the wings of the wind.
7 years dead and traveling all the time.
7 years, Ebenezer! 7 years of remorse. Ebenezer, do you know that no space of regret can make amends for one's life's opportunities misused?
But you were always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business? Mankind was my business. Charity, mercy, benevolence, they were all my business. The dealings of my trade were but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business.
Jacob, don't take on so now, Jacob.
Listen to me, Ebenezer!
I'll listen to you, Jacob. Go on, Jacob, now. Speak to me, but just don't be so flowery.
Ebenezer, I am here to warn you that you have yet a chance of hope of escaping my fate. Do you hear that, Ebenezer?
Yes, Jacob. Yes, you were always a very good friend to me, Jacob. Thank you. But go on. How shall I escape? Oh, I'm afraid, Jacob.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Is that the only chance and hope, Jacob?
It is your only chance and hope.
Well, then I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take him all at once and have it over, Jacob?
Ebenezer, look that, for your own sake, you remember what has passed between us. Remember when the bell tolls 1, look for the first spirit.
Marley! Jacob Marley!
You are listening to the Campbell Playhouse's broadcast of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, originally written and performed by Orson Wells and the Mercury Theater in 1939. Brought to you today by Staples Players and Staples Audio Group, coming to you live on WWPT 90.3 FM Westport. And now a word from our other sponsor.
My complexion's so bad. I hate to go out.
Don't be a square. Try Ting, the faster way to clear up pimples. Yes, doctors' half-faced tests prove Ting medicated cream dries up pimples more effectively than any other product tested. And here's why. Boys and girls have overactive oil glands, and excess oil clogs pores and causes pimples. But Ting mops up oil faster and more completely than other products. In lab tests, Ting completely absorbed oil in 15 minutes. Hours later, other products still had not. No, hiding pimples won't help heal them. No mere cover-up can work like Ting's antiseptic medication. And remember, doctors' half-faced tests prove Ting better in every case, better than any other remedy tested. Applied at bedtime. Greaseless, stingless Ting dries to oil, absorbing powder that clings all night. Even helps heal acne-type blemishes. Don't let externally caused pimples spoil your fun. Get Ting medicated cream, T-I-N-G. See improvement overnight or money back.
Now, in December come the longer evenings, when folks drop in and play bridge or stop for a snack after the movies. Keep your refrigerator stocked with Kraft's famous cheese food, Velveeta.
To spread or slice for swell toast and sandwiches, Velveeta is a natural for late evening snacks, you know? Because it's as digestible as milk itself. These days, you really ought to be buying the rich golden Velveeta in the 2-pound size, so you'll have plenty for snacks and also for melt for economical meatless main dishes.
Remember, smooth melting Velveeta helps supply the protein you'd expect from a main dish, but the price is low. Tomorrow get Kraft's famous Velveeta.
extra good news! The makers of Jell-O have discovered a way to give you rich, luscious chocolate pudding far more easily and far more economically than ever before.
With the new Jell-O chocolate pudding powder, you can make old-fashioned pudding, smooth, creamy, and chocolatey, just like the ones Grandmother used to make back in the good old days.
Now you can have them again, and this is all you have to do.
Just combine the contents of the packet of Jell-O chocolate pudding with the milk in the top of your double boiler, letting it cook until it becomes smooth and thick.
When the mixture has cooled, serve it in sherbet glasses. You'll have enough for 6 helpings.
And that means 6 happy people. Jell-O chocolate pudding is so simple, so inexpensive, and so downright delicious that you mustn't wait to try it.
Ask your grocer for Jell-O chocolate pudding.
And if he hasn't put it in stock yet, be sure he orders it for you. Remember the name,
Jell-O chocolate pudding.
And now, back to the Campbell Playhouse presentation of A Christmas Carol, a Christmas present from the makers of Campbell's Soups.
Scrooge awoke. He was lying on his bed, fully dressed. Suddenly, the curtains of his bed were drawn aside, and Scrooge found himself face to face with the unearthly visitor who drew them. It was a strange figure, like a child, yet not so like a child as like an old woman. Her hair, which hung about her neck and down her back, was white as if with age, and yet her face had not a wrinkle in it, and the tenderest bloom was on the skin. Her arms were long and muscular, the hands the same, as if its hold were of uncommon strength.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Who's that?
Ebenezer Scrooge, I have come for you.
Are you the spirit whose coming was foretold me?
I am that spirit.
What are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
But what do you want of me? What brings you here to haunt me?
Your welfare, Ebenezer Scrooge. Rise and walk with me.
No, not out the window! Why, I can't do that, I'll fall down! I'm not a spirit, I'm mortal, I'll fall!
Bear but a touch of my hand upon your heart, and you shall be upheld in more than this. Come, follow me.
Where are we? What's become of the city? And the snow upon the ground. Where are we?
These are the shadows of the things that have been. You recognize this countryside?
Oh, I know every inch of it. Every rock, every tree.
And that bleak building over there?
Ah, that building. I was a boy there. Yes, I went to school in that horrible place.
Do you recollect that path?
I could walk it blindfold.
Strange you should have forgotten it so many years. Come, let us go closer. Look through the window into that cold, barren room. What do you see, Ebenezer Scrooge?
I see a boy.
A solitary child, neglected by his family, alone.
Yes, I see. I know that boy. Oh, I was so lonely. Poor boy.
Your lip is trembling, Scrooge. And what is that on your cheek?
It's a pimple. I wish I... it's too late now.
What's the matter?
Nothing. Children came to my door singing Christmas carols last night, and there was a boy like that among them. A poor, pale, thin little boy in a ragged coat. I should have liked to have given him something, that's all.
Is that all? Ebenezer, who is that young girl?
Fan. My sister, Fan.
Ebenezer! Dear brother, I've come to bring you home, dear brother! To bring you home!
Home, little Fan?
Yes, home for good and all. Home forever and ever. Father's so much kinder than he used to be that home's like heaven.
For you, perhaps, but not for me. He doesn't know me, even what I look like. It seems I hardly know you, now that you're quite a woman.
Oh, he spoke so gently to me one day night when I was going to bed that I was not afraid to ask him once more if you might come home, and he said yes, you should, and sent me in a coach to bring you. And you're to be a man and are never to come back here. But first, we're to be together all the Christmas long and have the merriest time in all of the world.
You are quite a woman, little Fan.
Always a delicate creature, whom a breath might have withered. But she had a large heart.
So she had.
She died a woman, and had, as I think, children.
One child.
True. Your nephew.
Yes.
Come, Ebenezer. Do you know this place?
Know it. I apprenticed here.
Yo-ho there, Ebenezer. Dick.
Why, it's old Fezziwig. Oh, bless his heart, it's Fezziwig alive again.
Ebenezer. Dick.
And look, there is Dick Wilkins, to be sure. Oh, bless me, yes, there he is. He was very much attached to me, was Dick. Poor Dick. Dear, dear.
Yo-ho, my boys. No more work tonight. Christmas Eve, Dick. Christmas, Ebenezer. Let's have the shutters up before a man can say Jack Robinson. Hilly-ho. Clear away, my lads. Let's have lots of room here. Hilly-ho, Dick. Cheer up, Ebenezer. It's time for the Christmas party.
Oh, bless his heart, old Fezziwig, and hosting one of his Christmas parties.
Come sing with me. Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la.
Oh, listen to him.
Is the season to be jolly. Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
And there's Dick Wilkins. Poor Dick. Oh, yes, and look, there's Mrs. Fezziwig herself, looking younger than any of them. Oh, and the table's all loaded with roast and cider, mince pie and beer. Oh, what a jolly time we used to have.
That carefree young man with the light heart and the happy smile. Do you recognize him?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Merciful heaven, how happy I was then.
A small matter for old Fezziwig to make those silly folks so full of joy.
Small matter? Small indeed.
Isn't it? He has spent only a few pounds of your mortal money. Is that so much that he deserves praise?
It's not that, Spirit. Old Fezziwig has the power to make us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or heavy. His power lies in words and looks, and in things so tiny it's impossible to count them up. The happiness he gives us is quite as great as if it cost us.
What is the matter?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all, Spirit.
Something, I think.
No, no.
Speak.
Well, only... It's just that I should like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk, Bob Cratchit, that's all.
My time grows short, and we have yet another journey to make.
Where now?
Come. This is our last visit to the past, Ebenezer. Here, walking through the snow, with a fair young girl by your side. Do you recognize yourself, Ebenezer?
No, spare me this!
You're older now, a man in the prime of life. Your face has begun to wear the signs of care and avarice. Your eyes are greedy, the eager, restless eyes of a miser.
No, please!
She knows it too, that girl by your side. There are tears in her eyes.
It matters little to you. Very little. I know that.
Belle, have I changed toward you?
When we were engaged, we were both poor.
Was it better then? Better to be poor?
Better at least to be happy. You're changed. You were another man then.
I was a boy. You blame me because I've grown wiser? Have I ever tried to break our engagement?
In words, no. Never.
In what then?
In a changed nature. In an altered spirit. In everything that made my love of any value in your sight. So I release you from your promise. If this had never been between us, tell me, would you seek me out and try to win me now? Ah, no.
You think not?
I do. And I release you from our engagement, with a full heart for the love of him you once were. The memory of what has passed half makes me hope you will have pain in this for a very, very brief time, and then you will dismiss the recollection of it gladly as an unprofitable dream from which it happened well that you awoke. May you be happy in the life you have chosen.
Spirit, show me no more. Conduct me home. Why do you delight to torture me?
These were shadows of the things that have been. That they are what they are. Do not blame me.
No more. No more.
One shadow more. Come. Do you see this man, Ebenezer Scrooge? This man might have been you, and the woman beside him, your wife. And that girl might have been your daughter, Ebenezer Scrooge. She might have called you father. She might have been a springtime in the haggard winter of your life.
Spirit, let me go. Show me no more.
Listen now while they speak, Ebenezer.
Belle, I saw an old friend of yours today.
Who was it?
Guess.
How can I? Oh, I know. Ebenezer Scrooge.
Mr. Scrooge it was. I passed this off this window. It wasn't shuttered. There was a candle inside, so I couldn't help seeing him. His partner Marley lies at the point of death, I hear, and there Scrooge sat, all alone. Quite alone in the world, I do believe.
Oh, the poor man.
I need pity from no one. Spirit, I can't bear any more. Leave me. Haunt me no more. Take me back. Take me back.
On the stroke of 2, Scrooge awakened suddenly and sat bolt upright in his bed. He remembered the words of Marley's ghost and wondered from which direction the second spectre would appear. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a quarter of an hour went by, yet nothing came. Then, as he sat in his bed, he became aware gradually of a great blaze of ruddy light, which seemed to shine upon him from the adjoining door. He got up softly and shuffled in his slippers to the door. It was his own sitting room, no doubt about that, but it had undergone a surprising transformation. The walls and ceiling were so hung with living green that it looked a perfect grove, from every part of which bright gleaming berries glistened, and such a mighty blaze went roaring up the chimney, as had never been known in Scrooge's time, or for many and many a winter season gone. Heaped up on the floor to form a kind of throne, there were turkeys, geese, game, poultry, great joints of meat, suckling pigs, long wreaths of sausages, mince pies, plum puddings, barrels of oysters, red-hot chestnuts, and seething bowls of punch that made the chamber dim with their delicious steam. In easy state upon this couch, there sat a jolly giant, glorious to see, who bore a glowing torch, in the shape not unlike Plenty's horn, and held it up, high up, to shed its light onto Scrooge as he came peeping round the door.
Come in, Ebenezer Scrooge, and know me better, man. Who? I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. You've never seen the likes of me before?
Never. You're different from the other spirit. You're tall, almost a giant.
Have you never walked forth with my elder brothers born in these later years?
Don't think I have. I'm afraid I have not. Have you had many brothers, Spirit?
Approximately 1,842.
A tremendous family to provide for. Spirit, take me where you will. Last time I went against my will and learnt a lesson which is working now. If you have anything to teach me, let me profit by it.
Touch my robe, Ebenezer Scrooge. Touch my robe!
Where have you brought me, Spirit?
A humble dwelling in a humble street.
It's humble enough.
Yet there is happiness here.
Who are these people? Who's that woman? And the children?
These are the family of your clerk, Bob Cratchit. His wife dressed in a twice-turned gown, but brave in ribbons, laying the table for their Christmas dinner. And there assisting her is her daughter Belinda. And the young man with the fork in the stuffing, that's Master Peter Cratchit. And the 2 little Cratchits. Listen, Scrooge.
Here's Martha, Mother.
Martha. Why, bless your heart alive, Martha, my dear, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, Mother.
Merry Christmas, Mother.
How late you are, my dear.
Oh, we had a deal of work to finish up last night, and we had to clear away this morning.
Well, never mind so long as you're here now. Sit you down before the fire and have a warm, Lord bless you.
Where's Father?
He's been to church with Tiny Tim. They'll be along directly.
How is Tiny Tim, Mother? Any better at all?
Sometimes I think he is, and sometimes I think, oh dear God, if anything should happen to Tiny Tim.
Mother, you mustn't even think of such a thing. They're here.
There's Tiny Tim.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Martha, welcome, my dear.
Merry Christmas, Father. And Tim.
Merry Christmas, Martha.
Oh, Tim, you darling. Oh, Father, I'm so glad to be home.
And we're so glad to have you, Martha.
And how did little Tim behave in church, Bob?
Oh, as good as gold and better.
I like church, Mother. Oh, they sang the nicest songs. I hope people saw me there.
Saw you there? And why, Tim?
Well, don't you see? Because I'm lame. And if they saw my crutch, it might be pleasant for them to remember on Christmas who it was made lame beggars walk and blind men see.
Oh, bless you, my son.
Time to wait, Mother. Are we ready?
Yes, children, we're all ready. Come, take your places now. And Bob, wait your turn, there's plenty. Stuffing and dressing and plum pudding for all of you. Martha, you take care of Tiny Tim.
Yes, Mother.
You see that he eats plenty, he must get tall and well. Now sit down, everyone.
Oh, now, my dears, shall we say grace?
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved.
Oh, no, kind spirit. Say he'll be spared. Say he'll live.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, Ebenezer, the child will die. If he be like to die, he had better do it and decrease the surplus population. Man, if man you be in heart, forbear that wicked cant until you have discovered what the surplus is and where it is. Will you decide what men shall live, what men shall die? It may be that in the sight of heaven you are more worthless and less fit to live than millions like this poor man's child.
Amen.
Amen.
And now, my dears, with such a dinner, a toast. A Merry Christmas to us all, and God bless us.
Amen.
God bless us, everyone.
And now, to Mr. Scrooge. I give you a toast to Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed. Who pays you all of 15 shillings a week. I wish I had him here. I give him a piece of my mind to feast on, and I hope we have a good appetite for it.
Oh, my dear, the children. Christmas Day.
Well, it should be Christmas Day, I'm sure, on which one drinks the health of such an odious, stingy, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Bob. Nobody knows it better than you, poor fellow.
My dear, Christmas Day.
I'll drink his health for your sake, and the day is not for his. Long life to him, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt.
And I say, God bless him too, Mother, and everyone.
Yes, God bless him.
To Mr. Scrooge.
Mr. Scrooge.
There was nothing in high mark in all this. They were not a handsome family, these Cratchits. They were not well dressed. Their shoes were far from being waterproof. Their clothes were scanty, and had known very likely the insides of a pawnbroker's. But they were happy, grateful, pleased with one another, and contented with the time. When at last they faded, Scrooge had his eye upon them, and especially on Tiny Tim, until the last. Many calls Scrooge made that night with the ghost of Christmas present. Down among the miners they went, who labor in the bowels of the earth, and out to sea among the sailors at their watch. Dark, ghostly figures in their several stations. Much they saw, and far they went, and many places they visited. Finally, they came upon the home of Scrooge's nephew, Fred, who along with his wife were hosting a festive Christmas gathering.
He said that Christmas was a humbug. As I live, he believed it too.
More shame for him, Fred.
I should very much like to meet your uncle, Fred. The droll way in which you portray him makes me curious.
He's a comical old fellow, that's the truth, and not so pleasant as he might be. However, his offenses carry their own punishment, and I've nothing to say against him.
I'm sure he's very rich, Fred. At least you always tell me so.
What of that, my dear? His wealth is of no use to him. He don't do any good with it. He doesn't make himself more comfortable with it. He hasn't the satisfaction of thinking that he's ever going to benefit us with it.
I've no patience with him.
Nor I.
Oh, I have. I'm very sorry for him. I couldn't be angry with him if I tried. Who suffers by his ill whims? Himself, always. Here he takes it into his own head to dislike us, and he won't come and dine with us. What's the consequence? He don't lose much of a dinner.
Indeed, I think he loses a very good dinner.
Plum pudding, Lucy.
Really, Fred, I think you're being awfully charitable.
If that's so, it may be because my mother, God rest her saintly soul, was very fond of him. She loved him.
But do go on, Fred. Oh, he never finishes what he begins to say. He's such a ridiculous fellow.
I mean to give him the same chance every year, whether he likes it or not, for I pity him. He may rail at Christmas till he dies, but he can't help thinking better of it. I defy him. If he finds me going there in good temper year after year and saying, "Uncle Scrooge, how are you?" If it only puts him in the vein to leave his poor clerk £50, that's something. And I think I shook him yesterday.
Come, we have much to see.
Now then, let's play a game called Yes and No. Since you're the host, you'll go first.
I think we should stay at least until the guests have departed.
Oh dear, what do I have to do?
I'm afraid that cannot be done.
But they are playing a game. 1/2 hour, Spirit, only one.
You think of something, anything, and the rest of us must find out what it is. but you may only answer our questions yes or no, as the case may be.
All right. Well... Oh, I've got it.
You've thought of something?
Yes, fire away.
Is it an animal, vegetable, or mineral?
No. It has to be a question he can answer yes or no. Are you thinking of an animal?
Yes.
Living or dead?
Oh, no.
Is it living?
Yes.
A wild animal.
Well, I suppose.
Can it be found in London?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Does it live in a menagerie?
No, wouldn't go near it.
Is it a horse?
No.
Is it an ass?
No.
Is it a cow?
They can't hear you.
Shut up, I'm having fun.
Does it walk the streets?
Yes.
Is it some kind of rat?
No, maybe a pack rat.
Wait, is it a man?
I have found it out. I know what it is, Fred. I know what it is.
What is it?
It's your Uncle Scrooge.
Yes.
Well, that's not fair. When I asked, is it an ass, you should have answered yes.
He has given us plenty of merriment, I'm sure, and it would be ungrateful not to drink to his health. I say, Uncle Scrooge.
Well, Uncle Scrooge,
Cheers to him.
A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to the old man, whatever he is. He wouldn't take it from me, but may he have it nevertheless. Uncle Scrooge.
Scrooge and the spirit travelled to even more places. It was a long night, if it was only a night, and it was strange too that while Scrooge remained unaltered in his outward form, the ghost grew older, clearly older.
My life upon this globe is very brief, Ebenezer. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight at midnight. Hark! The hour has come.
Oh, no, not yet. There are still more things I wish to learn.
These you will learn from still another spirit. Still another spirit, Ebenezer!
You are listening to the Campbell Playhouse's broadcast of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, originally written and performed by Orson Wells in the Mercury Theater in 1939, brought to you today by Staples Players and Staples Audio Group, coming to you live on WWPT 90.3 FM Westport. And now a word from our other sponsor.
Hello, women. Smell your man.
Now listen to us.
Back to smelling your man.
Now back to us.
Does your man smell like he just came from the coal mines?
Gosh, that's terrible.
Now, your man may be able to chop wood with one easy stroke of an axe.
He might even be able to catch a fish off his first cast.
But he's missing one thing, that manly scent of Old Spice.
With Old Spice, your man could be your man, but better.
Now, women, close your eyes.
Your man has just put on Old Spice deodorant.
What does this mean?
Imagine your man having the ability to rip wood apart with his bare hands.
Catch a fish with his teeth.
Tame a dragon.
Superman will read comics about your man.
Your man's face will replace Lincoln's on Mount Rushmore.
Women, open your eyes.
Where are you?
Your house?
But why?
Your man could smell like a wood-ripping, fish-catching, dragon-taming man's man.
Quickly, go to the door.
Open the door.
This is the first step to upgrading your man to a man.
You boys and girls won't object to Grove's emulsified nose drops. There's nothing unpleasant about them.
They don't run out of your nose and make you messy. They don't run down the back of your throat and make you sick. What's more, they don't burn or sting the inside of your nose.
They quickly check a head cold, and yet do it in a nice way. These nose drops are something brand new, and a big improvement on old-fashioned oil drops. Mother's interested in getting results when you have a cold in the head, and she'll get results much faster with Grove's emulsified nose drops.
In every section of the country, Grove's emulsified nose drops are selling at an amazing rate.
That's because they're better in every way.
Tell Mother to procure a bottle at the corner drugstore.
Grove's emulsified nose drops will surprise you with the way they look and act.
These nose drops are white and creamy. They don't look, taste, or smell like medicine, yet they are highly effective.
That's because they're medically superior, because they stay up in the nose. Any child can understand that nose drops that stay up in the nose will do more good than nose drops that run right out.
Impress this fact upon Mother, and she will undoubtedly let you try these new types of nose drops. When you have a head cold or stuffed head, all drugstores sell Grove's emulsified nose drops.
And they're really more economical than the old-fashioned kind, because you get more for your money and you can use less.
Ask Mother to get a bottle of Grove's emulsified nose drops today.
Today, most movie stars use Lux toilet soap regularly. You know what a forthright person Joan Blondell is.
Yes.
Well, when I asked her about her complexion care, she said, "A Lux girl, you bet I am. Active lather facials really work for me."
Lux Soap Beauty Facials do make skin lovely, all right. Since specialists prove it. In 3 out of 4 cases, daily Lux soap care makes skin softer, smoother.
The fact that so many famous stars recommend Lux toilet soap shows how right it is for your delicate skin.
Now there's a beauty counsel for lovely ladies everywhere. Why not make fragrant white Lux toilet soap your daily beauty soap? Remember, it's Hollywood's own complexion care. The choice of 9 out of 10 lovely stars.
And now, back to the Campbell Playhouse presentation of A Christmas Carol, a Christmas present from the makers of Campbell's Soups.
Scrooge looked about him for the ghost. It had vanished, and he found himself once more in bed, in his dressing gown and his nightcap on his head. He heard the clock strike, and then he remembered the prediction of old Jacob Marley, and lifting up his eyes, beheld the third spirit. A solemn phantom, shrouded in black, draped and hooded, coming towards him, slowly and silently, like a mist along the ground.
I know you. You are the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You'll show me the shadows of things that have not happened, but will happen in the time before us. Answer me, spirit, ghost of the future. I fear you more than any specter I've seen. Yet I know your purpose is to do me good, and as I hope to live to be another man from what I was, lead on. Lead on! The night's waning fast and time's precious. Spirit, why have you brought me here again, here to Bob Cratchit's home? But it's not the same. Why is it so quiet? So very quiet here.
Mother, please.
Oh, my son. My little son, Tiny Tim. I loved him so.
Oh, Mother, dear, you mustn't. It's almost time for Father to be home. Don't let him see you crying.
Yes, Martha.
He's late tonight.
He walks slower than he used to. And yet I've known him to walk very fast indeed with Tiny Tim on his shoulder.
So have I, Mother.
But he was light to carry. And his father loved him so that it was no trouble. No trouble at all. Bob.
Good evening, my dear.
You're late, Bob.
Yes, I'm sorry, my dear. I went to the churchyard today. I wish you could have gone with me. It would have done your heart good to see how sweet and green a place it is. But you'll see it often. I promised him. Yes, I promised Tiny Tim we'd walk there on a Sunday.
Father, dear.
It's God's will, Bob.
I'm trying to understand it, my dear. My son. My little son, Tiny Tim. And I loved him so.
Oh, that's cruel. Cruel. Spirit, can't you give me one ray of hope that I may change all that? That Tiny Tim may live? Where are you taking me now? Here? To a common tavern, Spirit? What is there for me to learn here? I know these men. Business associates.
No, I don't know much about it either way. I only know he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
Why? What was the matter with him? I thought he'd never die.
God knows.
What has he done with his money?
I haven't heard. Left it to his company, perhaps. He hasn't left it to me, that's all I know. It's likely to be a very cheap funeral, for upon my life, I don't know of anybody to go to it. Suppose we make up a party and volunteer.
I don't mind going if a lunch is provided, but I must be fed if I make one.
Well, I am the most disinterested among you, after all, for I never wear black gloves and I never eat lunch. But I'll offer to go if anybody else will. When I come to think of it, I'm not at all sure that I wasn't his most particular friend, for we used to nod to each other whenever we met.
Spirit, help me! Who is this man that died? Is there no one to mourn that poor creature? No one to follow him to the grave? Perhaps they'll give him a green grave, at least, like poor Tiny Tim. Perhaps. Spirit, where are we now? Merciful heaven, a churchyard! overrun by grass and weeds, choked with too much burying, desolate, lonely, crumbling gravestones. Spirit, before I draw nearer to that gravestone, answer me one question. Are these the shadows of things that will be, or are they the shadows of things that may be only? Huh? Will you not speak to me, Spirit? What is that grave to which you point? Now I see it. There's writing on that stone. The name on the gravestone is Ebenezer Scrooge. Ebenezer Scrooge! Oh, no! No, Spirit! No, hear me! I am not the man I was! Why show me this if I am past all hope? Tell me that I can change these dreadful shadows that you've shown me by an altered life. I'll honor Christmas in my heart. I'll try to keep it all the year. I'll live in the past, the present, and the future, and I'll not shut out the lessons that they teach. Tell me, Spirit, oh, go on, tell me! Tell me that I can sponge away the writing on that stone. Spirit, I beg you! Spirit, I beg you! Spirit, I promise. I promise on my knees, I promise. I promise. Why, what's this? It's my own drape. Oh, I'm home. In my own bed, in my own room. And the sun's shining. Oh, it's clear, it's bright, no fog. What a beautiful day. Oh, glorious, glorious. Hey, boy, oh boy.
Yes, sir?
What's today?
What's that, sir?
What day is it, my fine fellow?
Today? Why, it's Christmas Day.
Oh, Christmas Day! That I haven't missed it! The spirits have done it all in one night. All in one night, heaven be praised.
How's that, sir?
Listen, my lad. You know where the poulterer is in the next street?
I should say I do.
Oh, an intelligent boy, a remarkable boy. Tell me, do you know if they sold the prize turkey that was hanging in the window?
The one as big as me?
Oh, what a delightful boy. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Yes, my young buck.
It's hanging there now, sir.
Oh, that's wonderful. Go on down, will you? And tell him to send it to Bob Cratchit and his family on Broad Street. And mind you, they're not to know who paid for it. Go along, hurry, my lad. Oh, here, wait a minute. Here's £50 for your trouble.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And a Merry Christmas, sir.
Oh, and a Merry Christmas to you, my boy. Oh, I don't know what to do. I'm as light as a feather, as happy as an angel. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. Merry Christmas. Oh, a Merry Christmas to everybody. A Happy New Year to all the world. Woo! Wahoo! Halloo! Oh, my dear sir, madam, how do you do?
I beg your pardon?
Well, you, sir, aren't you the gentleman who came to my office in regard to that charity?
Why, yes, sir.
A Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, sir.
Allow me to ask your pardon, sir, madam. And will you have the goodness to accept? I prefer to whisper this.
What? But Lord bless me, my dear Mr. Scrooge, are you serious?
If you please, now, not a farthing less. Oh, a great many back payments are included in it, I assure you. Will you do me that favor?
Well, my dear sir, I don't know what to say to such meanness.
No, don't say anything, please. Come and see me. Will you come and see me?
We will indeed.
Oh, thank you. I am much obliged to you. I thank you 50 times. Bless you. Oh, now I must go. I have a long overdue appointment to meet with my nephew and his new wife. Wish me luck. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Is your master at home, my dear?
Yes, sir.
Where is he, my love?
He's in the sitting room, sir, along with mistress. I'll show you in if you please.
Oh, thank you. He knows me. I'll just go in, my dear. Fred!
Uncle Ebenezer?
May I come in?
Of course.
Oh, and this must be your wife. How do you do? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
Uncle Ebenezer, this is my wife, Lucy. Uncle Ebenezer.
How do you do?
How do you do? It's a pleasure.
More of a surprise, wouldn't you say?
Yes, it is.
Indeed, it is. It is quite a surprise. Only yesterday you made it quite clear that you had no intention of honoring our annual invitation.
I made other things clear as well. That Christmas was a humbug, a waste of time and money, a false and commercial festival that should be ignored.
Yes, basically that was it.
I have come for 3 reasons. First, to beg your forgiveness for the things I said about Christmas. That was a humbug.
Was it?
I did not know it then, but I know it now. Secondly, I've come to meet your new wife, and a very beautiful woman she is too.
Thank you.
I was in love once. Would you believe that?
Yes.
Without the courage or optimism, or perhaps depth of feeling that you two have. Thirdly, if the invitation to dine with you is still in force, I accept.
Of course. Hurrah! I was certain that one day...
You were certain, and apparently you were right. Yes, I should like to dine with you and your friends.
You'll be more than welcome.
You like games, don't you?
Why, yes. Yes, as a matter of fact, I do.
Do you know the game yes and no?
Oh, I'm afraid I don't.
Well, perhaps you shall learn it today. Fred, forgive me for saying this, but I see the shadow of my sister in your face. I loved your mother, Fred. For a time, I forgot how much I adored her. Perhaps I choose to forget. God forgive the time that I've wasted.
Next morning, Scrooge was early at his office. He went early for a reason. He could only be there first and catch Bob Cratchit coming late. That was the thing he'd set his heart upon. And he did it. Yes, he did. The clock struck 9. No Bob. A quarter past. No Bob. Scrooge sat with his door wide open that he might see him come in. At last, he came. His hat was off before he opened the door, his comforter too. He was on his stool in a jiffy, driving away with his pen, as if he were trying to overtake 9 o'clock.
15, 21, 6 and carry the 1, 24 and carry the 2, 31, 8 and 9.
Cratchit!
Yes, sir?
Step this way, Cratchit, if you please. Cratchit, what do you mean by coming in at this time of day?
Why, I'm very sorry, sir. I am behind my time.
You are. Yes. Yes, I think you are.
Oh, it's only once a year, Mr. Scrooge. It shall not be repeated. We were making rather merry yesterday, sir. Out of the blue, a boy delivered the largest turkey.
I'll tell you what, Cratchit! I'll not stand for this sort of thing any longer. And therefore, Bob Cratchit, I'm about to raise your salary.
Mr. Scrooge? Are you quite yourself, sir?
No, thank heaven I'm not quite myself. Merry Christmas, Bob. Oh, Merry Christmas, my good fellow. A merrier Christmas than I've given to you in many a year. I shall raise your salary and we can see to what we can do about your family and Tiny Tim. We'll discuss it this very afternoon over a bowl of smoking bishop. Bob, make up the fire. Make it up and buy another coal scuttle before you dot another I, Bob Cratchit.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all, and infinitely more. To Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew, or any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he let them laugh, and little heeded them. His own heart laughed. That was quite enough for him. Afterwards, and it was always said of him, he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. May that be truly said of us, of all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone.
You have just heard our presentation of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, brought to you by the makers of Campbell's Soup and by Staples Players and Staples Audio Group, broadcast live on WWPT 90.3 FM Westport. Thank you for listening, and happy holidays to all!
Joy to